Extraterrestrial beings are using self-replicating probes to explore our Earth and the whole galaxy. This is what a Russian astrophysicist is claiming. I'm again briefing and translating it from the Italian article in Segni dal Cielo. Well, they're that advanced, I'm sure that's possible. One of the questions that scientists usually ask is where all the aliens are in the galaxy full of planets. Why hasn't another civilization shown up, contacted us yet? Well, there are those that say they have. For example, former Defense Minister of Canada, Paul Hellyer, has been going around for decades saying that they're on Earth among us and that we could be passing them on the street and they wouldn't look any different from us. But this Russian astrophysicist says that a civilization that has reached stage 2 of the Kardashev scale, a level that is above us, would be fully capable of producing a fleet of von Neumann probes. Von Neumann's probes, he says, are small self-replicating robots that collect resources from planets and asteroids to build new copies of themselves, would quickly saturate the galaxy. And these probes would make a beeline for an obvious candidate like our Earth, he says. Quote, all the results indicate that if a foreign object with extremely high values of higher brightness is detected, it could be a good signal to place the object on the list of candidates for the Van Neumann's extraterrestrial probes, end quote. Russian astrophysicist wrote in a new scientific article. He goes on to say, we have considered the scenario in which Type 2 civilizations must invade interstellar clouds through self-producing robots. And he says, and it has been shown that this process will inevitably lead to the consequences of observation, that is, observing another planet. He says, when it comes to explaining why we have not seen this fleet of probes, this astrophysicist Osmanov has a new and totally plausible theory. He says the probes are much smaller than our eye can see, or they are equipped with stealth shielding, invisible to the human eye and military radar. Well, they could be like what our U.S. pilots, Air Force pilots, have been witnessing off the West Coast, and East Coast, by the way, not just West Coast, where these things are so fast, they go as fast as a thought, and then they disappear into another dimension. And then we don't see them anymore. And that's totally mind-boggling. It's astonishing because we don't know what kind of technology is capable of doing something like that. Interdimensional, disappearing into another dimension, or cloaking to the point where nobody can see you. Now he says that nanotechnology is the obvious choice for building a probe that moves quickly, builds itself quickly, and adapts to a wide range of possible landing sites. He says we analyze the efficiency of the von Neumann probes in the microscale compared to macro robots, and we found that the former could reproduce efficiently in interstellar media, while large-scale automata can only be replicated on rocky planets. This requires further maneuvering, he said. And he goes on to say, even if there were billions of these little machines sneaking into the solar system, we could not detect them with our current equipment. Each would have a size of about 1 nanometer, or only a billionth of a meter, but although micro machines are almost invisible because of their size, Osmanov says that there may still be a way to detect them. If by chance these probes work with light, they could emit small amounts of light as they travel through space. If you observe using infrared telescopes, these luminous currents would appear as the trails left by comets. I always wanted to get an infrared, binoculars or telescopes, or even the kind of binoculars you can take images or videos with, but they are so expensive. But you can see so many things, really. Anyway, this is on Segni dal Cielo, and I'll leave a link below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.